Bill Heinrich will help your audience increase their happiness and productivity by helping them understand their true life purpose. His compassionate yet pragmatic approach to resolve commonplace problems is the solution you need to turn them around and thrive. From running on the treadmill of life to feeling overworked and unfulfilled, his ability to get people out of their own way so they can thrive is nothing less than life-changing. As a seasoned business executive and global entrepreneur, his signature program called True Life Purpose Now is so effective, he actually guarantees the results. He is a powerful speaker with a humorous yet practical approach that helps individuals open up to a whole new world of authenticity so they can reach a higher professional level and standard. Audiences feel empowered to excel and claim themselves as the spiritual beings that they are, eradicate what is holding them back, and accelerate their personal transformation that allows for their biggest breakthroughs in the workplace and life. Bill, are you ready to come on? I'm hired. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, you're now live on the screen, man, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the show and share this great information. I know when we met back at Accelerate Service, it was such a pleasure to hear you speak out there, and I'm really grateful that you could make it on today.
Well, excuse me. I appreciate the opportunity. What's the format that we're going? Are we going questions and answers?
So it'll be about 5 minutes of introduction. You'll share a little bit about your background, how you got to where you are today, and some challenges that you have experienced.
Okay.
And then you get to share basically anything on the three keys that are critical to discovering your soul purpose, true life purpose. And then we'll have a call to action at the end where you can share with people where they can go next.
Okay, cool. Yep. Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, again, I'm Bill Heinrich, and the reason I'm here today and the reason that I've got True Life Purpose Now is as a result of my experiences in life. I lived a very miserable life. I had very low self-esteem. I had a lot of different challenges, and it's the irony is the challenges that I had with life were as a result of my intuitive abilities and the knowledge that I have, the universal wisdom that I have, because things in the world never made sense to me as a child. I mean, going to work didn't feel right. I didn't understand. There were so many things but I just finally go along with it. So at 20, something years ago, I finally was so miserable, I decided I had to make a change. I've always owned my own businesses. I've been successful. I've also had failures. So I literally walked out of my life and changed my life, and I've been doing that ever since. It's been about 23 years now. In the course of this, the first thing I found out was how intuitive I was, how intuitive we all are, actually, and how to access it, how to use it, and how to get more connected to other resources that are available to us that most people aren't familiar with. In doing all of this, it was through all of my research and work that I've done now for decades that have led me all the way through and learning about the divine gifts, which I'll tell you everyone about in a little while. So this is like what I've created is like the best of the best that I've learned in almost 25 years. So I'm regurgitating information. However, I'm teaching some information that no people have ever heard of. And that's about the divine gifts. But more importantly, I teach people how to bring together the physical and non-physical worlds and to live in both at the same time and to understand them. And once you do, your whole world changes instantly. It's an instant transformation. Literally, I'm in my one-on-one coaching. I just tell people, it's like, look, I can change your life in 60 minutes. I will change it. You will be blown away what your life looks like after 60 minutes. And then I teach people how to handle that. So everything is done individualized for anyone who comes through the course or coaches with me, works with me. It's all like today I was with a very big, at a meeting with coaching a very big thought leader from the East Coast, a woman. And she's like we went through the divine gifts today and gave her divine gifts, and she's just stunned. She just like doesn't even know what to say because the power of the information is so astounding, because so many people are living in fear. So many people are waiting for the other shoe to fall. They're living in that, God, I hope nobody really finds out how I really feel inside type of world, right? And then there's a whole group of seekers, the people who are out doing yoga and all the other things, seeking their spirituality. I mean, there's just so many different types of people, but the biggest ones are the people were in just stress and overwhelm, I guess is what I'd want to say, because there's so many agendas going on in the world. Everybody's got agendas, and there's this and there's that, and now there's so much information, and there's, it's like the white noise, it's like crazy, and it's difficult. You can't separate them. The reality just becomes kind of blended together, In fact, I was watching ESPN the other night. I can't watch it anymore. Their graphics are so sharp and so loud to maintain your attention. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. But that's what they do today in order to hold your attention, right? Yeah. So it's it's just a world filled with stress and overwhelm, especially with what we're going through in politics. And it doesn't matter, Trump has been a piece of work, frankly. And I'm not into politics. I don't discuss them. I think it's been fantastic, because now it's really making people stand up and take their own initiative to really get some things going on their own and really be true Americans. That's what's really American. Everybody else likes to bitch, and, so, yeah. I mean, when Obama was president for 8 years, all I heard was people complain about he didn't do this, It's all about survival, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's caught up in that survival piece.
That's why
so anyway,
we get to elevate people out of that.
Well, actually, I don't. Okay? That's a great statement. Let me talk about that. Yeah. Most coaches do accountability coaching. And in accountability coaching, Chris, what happens is they go through looking at a plan of action. What are your goals, right? Next 30, 60, 90 days. And or having a plan of action immediately. Then goals, what your goals are, 6 months, blah, blah, blah. Your environment, what's your environment like? Do you need to add something, or do you need to be in a different one? Or And when I talk about environment, it's physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional environment. There's all four of those. So and then after environment, you look at skills. What skills do you have that you need to let more people know about, and which ones you need to sharpen up on, tools you can use, and so on. But then we get to psychology, and coaches use those accountability things and go through them with people. But you want to know something? What I found is that people don't need those. Okay? What I do is the psychology piece is psychology. 92% of success is based on the inner game. Think about that. How much of your potential do you use?
Not a lot. 10%.
I mean, people say 10%, and the truth of the matter is the number that I really hear, the real number is 7. Is with that of what we use of our potential.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that other 93%, or it's actually 92, it's all the inner game.
Yeah.
It's what's going on inside you. And that's the area that I'm an expert at. That's what my program's an expert at, is introducing people to their inner game and showing them how to play it, what the rules are, and what tools to use to improve their life, okay? And when they get this information, it empowers them. So it allows them to make new choices in their life, because now they have awareness. Okay? See, we're all smart. We've all got incredible talents. We just need to know where to go.
Yeah.
Right? So the way people do life, it's like if I blindfolded you, if I came and got you and said, okay, Chris, you're in LA, you're in Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You're in Anaheim. So I come and get you, and it's like, okay, you come outside, I blindfold you, I have you sit in the driver's seat of the car, and I'm saying, like, you're driving us to San Diego. Okay, let's go. Right? And it's like, I mean, just imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to know something? That's how you're doing life.
Mm.
You are doing life blindfolded.
Yeah.
Because of all the influence that has come to us from everyone else outside of us. We don't know what's right. Now, you us agendas that they're putting on us. So then we get caught up in those, and then we get caught up in survival. Well, we got to eat, we got to have a roof over our head, car, got to make money, work, and it just becomes a life of survival. And so what people are looking for is an escape from that. And what I do is I teach people how to get that escape, but where they don't have to leave their current position. I'll give them a whole new perception of how to look at life based upon who they are. I'll take the blindfold off when they're driving through life, and they'll see where they are and they'll see where they're going. And that changes life instantly. And when that happens, all the coaching I do is responsibility coaching. Because once you understand this information, then you just start making choices. There's no more confusion. You never make another decision. Ever. Never make another decision. Because decisions come from stress and come from that place of, oh, we've got to do this, we've got to make that decision. When you become responsible, you make a choice.
Yeah.
And do all choices work? No. Right?
Right.
But when you're responsible for it, you get to make then another choice and go a different direction. And just correct it instead of going, oh, that son of a bitch did this to me, right? I mean, I used to live that way.
Yeah.
I just have massive, massive knowledge in sabotage and just bad behavior, I mean, I live that way and frankly, that's the way many other people live. This is not a secretive subject,
Right.
They're all out there searching for it anyways. But you want to know something funny? They don't know what they're looking for.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And I do. It's what I have. Because when you have this, when you have these divine gifts, when you understand what they are and you start connecting with them, then you can feel fulfilled inside. Then you have yourself.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, let's go. I want to know about him.
Isn't it? I mean, doesn't it kind of sound outrageous?
Yes.
Now get this. I guarantee my results 100%. No questions asked, guarantee my results. So when I do my programs, when I work with people, even if I'm doing a group, it's individualized to everybody. So it isn't like one size fits all because we each have our own unique gift to share with the world, right? So before I get to the secrets, and do you have any questions? I've been rambling.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I love it, and I love the direction.
I can go on for a long time.
I love the frame you set, and it's all beautiful, man.
Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about these secrets, okay? And to me, it's kind of funny because it's like when we went to school. When we went to school, they didn't teach me basic things to do to live properly,
Right.
How to take care of my bank account and how to clean a house and, all the things that you got to do, right? I don't know. I didn't learn any of that. And for some reason, when we chose to come here, whatever people believe, whether you believe in reincarnation, whether you think you're a spiritual being, whether you think you have a soul, whatever. Whatever it is, we've come here and we have lessons to learn and gifts to share. And everybody, when they hear that, they go, yeah, like we have this unique gift, that snowflake effect. No two snowflakes are the same. Well, it's really the same with us.
Yeah.
But the problem is we get caught up in survival. We get caught up in the physical world. Okay? So you have to understand the ground rules before you're going to play the game. Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay. So even though you understood the ground rules, if you were blindfolded driving my car, how far would you get?
Nowhere.
Right. And if I impaired something else in the car and have you drive, you would eventually get to a point where you're going to go wherever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's how we do life. So we don't understand the rules. So you have to understand the ground rules. So here's the first secret, okay? Mm-hmm. The first secret is this. We live in a physical and non-physical worlds.
Okay.
We're living in two worlds at one time. Mm-hmm. They're literally two different dimensions. Now, why do I say that? Because the physical dimension, physical, here we are in physical, right?
Yep.
Is very dense. Like, what? I want to go to the store. Oh, I've got to hang this up. I've got, da. Where when we go into the metaphysical world, the non-physical world, you can meditate or do things or bring things instantly into your being, your thought, your mind, whatever it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can just close your eyes right now and imagine that stream, the babbling brook. There's nice aspen trees blowing. The leaves are flickering on the side. You just, boom, you're there, right? Mm-hmm. But physically, if you want to go there, now you have density. Oh, where is it? How do I get there? Am I driving? Am I walking? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Okay? So we live in two different dimensions at the same time. The metaphysical, non-physical dimension is one that a lot of people reject. Mm. They reject it because you can't use the five senses to access it. The five senses are for the physical world. Mm-hmm. So in the physical world, we have our own reality. Everybody has their own reality. No two people are the same. Everything is made up in the world. Everything's made up. Mm-hmm. So, and everything's a reflection of you. Whatever you see is a reflection of you. The world's a mirror. So if you want to transform, just see what you're seeing, see what you're saying, see what you're thinking, see who's around you, your environment. Change the way that all looks and your whole life has changed. Right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, physical, non-physical. So reality's all made up. So the non-physical world it's the reality of our souls. Metaphysics is the reality of our souls. That's what it is. Wow. Our souls are connected with the non-physical, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that you've had many, 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 many non-physical experiences where things have happened. You've thought of somebody, they called the next day, or they called a few minutes later, or this and that. And we all have them, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. That's because we're all connected in that non-physical world. Mm-hmm. But in the physical world, we want to refute things, and science has a certain way of looking at things, right? Which is okay. But the fact of the matter is, we're sitting on a ball, we're flying through space, nobody knows what's out there, nobody knows what the hell is going on. That's the ultimate truth, right? We show up here, we have no idea when we're leaving, and when we leave, we have no idea where we're going. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right?
I mean, right. That's the truth of the matter. So why not metaphysics, right? Maybe there's something there. And as I've researched it, I found that there's a lot there. Okay? There's phenomenal resources available to us. So the first thing someone has to do, the first secret is you have to understand that there's a physical and a non-physical world. And you have to know which one you're actually feeding energy to with every breath you take, with every thought, with every word. What are you feeding, the physical or are you feeding the non-physical? Now people are going to go, the hell does that mean? Okay? But what that means is, I'll give you an example. Today, this woman that I'm working with, when we started out, I said, where do you want to end up? Like, what's your dream? Because I'll take you there. We'll go there. I'll show you exactly how to get there. She said, I want my business and my life to run with ease and grace. And I went, wow, That's powerful, right? I've never heard anyone say that, ever. I loved it. So we did our session. We're going to do our second one today. And I showed her how her life was already ease and grace. Okay? This is how you feed the non-physical. It's there. Be it. Ease and grace is not something that you can describe to me physically. Right? Ease and grace is, well, they floated into the room holding, it was just so graceful and pretty, right? I mean, it's like, so that's how you feed the non-physical, is you look at the energy of it. So what energy does ease and grace? Okay? If everything you're going to do, if you look at it and say, I have to do the dishes now, you walk up and you say, okay, I'm just going to like feed them with love while I do them. There's a good chance you would be doing them with ease and grace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how you feed the non-physical. Does that make sense?
So if we're doing the dishes and do we feed the dishes love, or do we focus on something?
It's your action.
Okay.
You see, your true life purpose isn't what you do. It's the energy you do it with.
Got it.
You know what I mean. When you hit it, when you hit your life purpose, when you're in your divine gifts, when the energy's flowing, you're ageless, you're timeless, you're not hungry, there's no tomorrow, there's no nothing, you're just there being of service to someone else, and the connection is nirvana.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what we teach people is how to be there as much as they want. Specifically. Right? For each person.
Yes.
Because if you understand, first of all, what those feelings are, we'll show you what those feelings are, and then you can access them. Right? And you have the tools, and you understand the direction, then it just becomes awareness and choice. That's life. Awareness and choice. And as something comes up, like yesterday, we're going to a big family reunion in Texas this weekend. And so my kids and grandkids are flying in from Hawaii and California, and I'm coordinating transportation and from the airport. And we had a major, major snafu yesterday with the transportation from the airport. And just with the way my day was going, I was just like, oh, God. I just can't even deal with this right now.
Right.
So I didn't. I said, I know the answer will come to me. I can't even look at that. I just went and did something that I wanted to do and enjoyed myself, you know. And sure enough, about 3 hours later, it was like, boom, the answer just pops in my head. It's like, oh, yeah, that'll be perfect. It ends up the way it was going to be, and the way it ended up sounded a lot more expensive, but it was less expensive, which really didn't matter because it was just more about accommodating people and transportation and figuring out some snafus with it. But anyway, you just let it go, right? See, people don't understand like why they're stressed and why they're overwhelmed. Well, I can tell you, when you understand your purpose, there's immediately a tremendous relief of stress and overwhelm, because you can see the things that you've been doing that you have no business being involved in. You thought this, your belief was, but it just created a constant struggle. Okay? So you have to understand the rules. Now, the universe, this isn't the earth. Okay? This isn't California. This is the whole universe. There's 7 laws that run it. These are all non-physical. But these 7 laws affect every breath you take in life. So if you're not aware of them, then you can't use them, right?
Yeah.
You're driving the car blindfolded.
What are the 7 laws, Bill? Tell us the 7
Okay.
laws.
So this is understanding the ground rules is the first secret.
Yeah.
So if you ask somebody or you go look about the universal laws, you'll find people say, oh, there's this many, there's that many, there's that many, there's that many. I mean, they say from, 5 to 88, I don't know. These 7 are the core 7, okay? Now, 3 of them are fixed. So what does that mean? It's like the law of gravity. It's fixed. The earth sucks. It holds us down for whatever reason, right?
Right.
You don't have to, like, you weren't taught to use gravity, right?
Right.
Right? You use it.
Yep.
So 3 of them are fixed, and then the other 4 are transcendable, transmutable. You can change them energetically. Okay? So here are the first 3. Okay? 1, the law of mentalism. Everything comes from nothing. Thought creates. Do you have any problem with that?
Nope.
Okay? You can't change that. Everything comes from nothing and it returns to nothing. Okay? That's fixed. The second one is the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. Everything is in a constant state of motion. Now think about that. If it's in a state of motion and you aren't, you're resistance. If you're not aware of the motion, you're in resistance. Most people live in resistance because they live in survival.
So people want to stay where they are comfortable, and there's
Well, you
again,
got to know where you are.
Yeah.
And you've got to acknowledge that we live in these 2 different dimensions, okay? But when you look at this and then you look at your life after I go through these, I'll have you just take any example in your life,
Cool.
and we'll look at all 7 of these in that case.
Cool.
And you'll see what was out of alignment.
Okay.
What wasn't there. So the law of mentalism, is this good so far?
Yes, I'm like hooked. I'm hooked.
Well, I told you that you and I really need to talk sometime. So there's a law of mentalism, there's the law of vibration, and then the law of correspondence.
Okay.
The law of correspondence means this, okay? Everything is in alignment in body, mind, and spirit in your vibration. They're all equal. One doesn't suck and one great. Right? You are in alignment. The law of correspondence. Okay? You can even take that a step further and say everything in the universe is in alignment. Everything that happens in the world is perfect.
Yes.
It's happening for a reason.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can learn to become the observer and know how the rules of the games are played, it makes life so much simpler. So, those 3 are fixed.
Okay.
Should I do the rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Bring them on. Bring them on. Tell us what we can actually do.
So, the law of mentalism, law of vibration, and law of correspondence.
Okay.
Okay. The next 4 are transmutable.
Okay.
What that means is, through choice and awareness, you can energetically cause them to go one way or the other. The first one is the law of rhythm. What flows in
must flow out.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? That has to be in everything you do. Okay? Then there's the law of polarity. Okay? The law of polarity says this: there is duality in everything. If there's hot, there's
cold.
If there's love, there's
hate.
Everything has duality, and they're the exact, love and hate are the exact same thing. They're just at a different energetic vibration. But they're on the same plane. There's pure duality there.
Right.
Between the two, right?
Right.
So that's the law of polarity. The next one is the law of gender. This is where a lot of people probably ruin their lives, frankly, okay? Because the law of gender says this: there's masculine and feminine in everything, yin yang. People, plants, minerals, you name it, there's masculine and feminine in everything, in all beings, all things, right? So you can see how it's very easy for some people, men, to not be in balance with their feminine, and women not being in balance with their masculine, especially with all the crap we're taught, right?
Yeah.
And the last one, the seventh one, is the law of cause and effect. For every cause, there's an effect, and every effect has a cause. This is normally thought of, the law of attraction, right? So these four can be transmuted, can be changed just by choice, right? So think of something in your life that you might want to share where it wasn't working out, and let's just go through and look at them, and you'll see something's missing. Those are the 7 universal laws. That's what the universe runs on. So the more you learn about those, the more you can feed them, and you're feeding them energy. The world's a vibration.
Yes.
So that's the first secret. The first secret is know the ground rules. We're all like radio towers. We send out a signal, an energetic signal, like attracts like. So what are, in your signal, what are you open to? What blocks do you have in your signal? Homophobia is a great block that a lot of people have, right? What's going out in your vibe? Like, we don't treat each other as equals, right? I mean, look at certainly in my lifetime, what I've seen is phenomenal where we've come to from even when I was your age, right? I mean, it's phenomenal what's happened. Incredible. People are starting to be treated equal, right? But it's taken a lot of training to get there. So understand the ground rules and those universal laws, because when you feed those, then you can create anything. Thought creates, everything's a vibration. So all you have to do is increase the vibration of your radio tower, and then be ready to receive. Most people aren't ready to receive. So what happens is, I teach this a lot, is about creating a foundation that's safe. That's why 90-something% of the people that win the lottery go bankrupt, right? Because they don't have the foundation. They can't hold the responsibility. Right. So as you're going through spiritual growth, you need to learn how to be more responsible. So the second secret is the 7 divine gifts. Okay? But before I tell you about those, I'm going to switch secrets. I'm going to go to the third one, okay?
Okay.
Because we were just talking about the physical, non-physical, okay? In order to live your life purpose, you have to thoroughly, clearly understand and live in detachment. From everything. And you are not allowed to make any defensive statements. Defensiveness is how people speak. Always defending. Always defending. And the reason we defend is because we are living in a self-policing society. We are taught in school to monitor each other and judge the other if their grades aren't as good as ours and everything, and here are the standards, and it's a self-policing society. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
We live in a society that intentionally holds us down. Right? So defensiveness, people defend all kinds of things. What do people defend? Now, I'm not talking about if you're physically threatened. That's different.
Right.
Okay? But what are some things you can think of that people defend?
It's your fault.
But what are they defending?
They are defending, you didn't do the dishes. Like, so you didn't do the dishes. Hey, it's not my responsibility. Why don't you do the dishes? Get off my back.
Right. I couldn't do them.
Yeah.
I had too much homework to do. I got tied up. I blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you go into a big story.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Or you reach a point in life where somebody has a belief that doesn't match yours. Religion is a great place for this. Right? Religion is a great place where there's a lot of defensiveness and judgment.
Yes.
Those don't come from love. You see, with love, when you come from love, even now, you sit there and listen, and just coming from love, what is there to defend?
Nothing.
There's never anything to defend with love. It needs no defense. So everything we're defensive about deals with the physical space of limitation. It's all in the physical. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ is my Savior, and I've been born again, and if you're not, you're going to hell, you know. And this is, you're going to hell for this, and oh, this same sex, going to hell, you know, on and on and on and on. And all they're doing is following doctrine that was created by man. It was all made up. Now, I'm not against that, mind you, at all. I think religion is fantastic, okay? There's some of us who don't choose to participate, right? But those that do and go and, you know, like I have clients that were Catholic, one very devout Catholic gentleman, right? And wonderful man. You know, of course, when people work with me, they're immediately, what's this going to do to my religion? The answer, well, they're concerned because, they live their laws, their life governed by the doctrine. And the answer is, it's going to make it better. Where do you think your divine gifts come from? This isn't something I made up, right? This is from source. So it's going to enhance and empower anything you're doing. So the second secret is about detachment, living detached. And when you start really looking at that, it's amazing what we're attached to. Because when you're attached to something, where your attention goes, you go.
Yes.
Where if it's an intention and you're detached, but you're creating energy to feed it with love, it's going to ignite.
Yes.
It has to.
Yes.
The universe, when you want to create something, you use those 7 laws, right? You have to be detached. Because if you're fixed on exactly what you want it to look like, you're really living in limitation, because the universe can perform miracles. So play with the energy of the universe. And here's what's fascinating about the universe. The universe cannot say no. It does say no, but it can't say no. Like, what was that? The universe doesn't have the capacity to say no. What it does say is KNO. It needs to know energetically. You have to speak to it with energy. Everything's a vibration. If you're speaking to it with density, you're not going to connect.
Right.
So defensiveness, people just it runs their whole lives. It's like, blow your mind if you start looking at defensiveness every day in your life. Like somebody, hey, I bought a new car. How do you like it? Right? That's a defensive statement.
Wow.
Why is it a defensive statement?
Because you're looking for approval?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're defending your purchase. You want to hear, you don't want to be wrong. You want somebody to go, oh, great, Chris, good job, pat you on the head. Right?
Yes.
I mean, we all do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Instead of just coming up with a car, you're like, you got a new car? It's like, yeah, oh yeah, I love it. It's sweet. Right?
Yes.
I love it. I don't give a shit what you think about it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's for me.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. I'm telling you, defensiveness and detachment, if you learn those and practice those every day, your life will look so different, you won't even know where you are. Because you just free yourself up, okay? And then the third secret is the 7 divine gifts, okay? I found these 6-7 years ago, and the minute I heard about them, boom, like I lit up. Like I taught this in another life because I went home and just started writing. I've been working with them ever since.
Right.
They are the most powerful thing you can have while you're in physical form. This is energy right from source. We all have the same 7 gifts. The gifts are compassion, creation, order, healing, authentic self-expression, truth, and power. But they're energy that flows to us from source. We all have the same 7 gifts, but we have them in different proportions. So when I go through an empowerment consultation where we give somebody their gifts, first of all, we only give them 3 of their gifts because that makes up about 80% of your divinity. Just learning to work with that. If you can learn to harness 10% of that, right?
Yes.
You'll perform miracles. Okay? Because this is pure energy from source. So, I got to remember where I'm at. So we all have them in different proportions. Okay? So we show people 3 of them, and then we show them how they affect their lives, and we show them how, if they're not using them, how your life is affected negatively. We do that first. And that's where people confirm that we're right. They're like, oh my God, that's so true. Like today, this woman had divine healing. You know, everybody, oh, they hear divine healing. It's, oh, I'm a healer. Well, that isn't what it means. They don't talk the same language in divine wisdom that we do here, right? Divine healing actually means that you create, it's almost like having creating a healing bubble around you wherever you are.
Right.
That attracts people in that want to be healed wherever you are, right? It's all energy. And so when it gets put together and people learn about it, they're like, oh my God, this just makes so much sense. So we have these 7 gifts. And what we do in our course in True Life Purpose Now is it's a 6-week course. We take people, see, the divine gifts are really pretty simple, okay? When you get them, it's like gravity. There's no instruction manual with them, right? You just know, right? So what I teach are the things that affect it in physical. So I've got 2 lessons. My first 2 lessons, my first lesson is just about the rules of the road and go into them in depth where you really understand, oh, there's how the universe works. So like, okay, that's cool. Because like now you can check it against anything, right? In other words, this isn't my stuff. This is the best of what I've learned. You can check that against anything on your own. I don't care what you do with it. This is just the best of what I learned. But in the first section, you learn all about the rules of the road. Then we do the empowerment foundational analysis. And I've developed something called a challenge wheel that we use. And we take people through so they can really understand the things that are blocking them, standing in their way, and holding them back. And you've got to know that before you start moving into the divine gifts for a couple of reasons. One, you need to take inventory and see where you're at. And two, you'll get confirmation of behavior that will match up with the gifts also. You'll see. And you'll see why that is happening, where we think it's because we're upset with the next door neighbor, when in fact there's something totally different causing it. And when you go, oh, got it. And it's gone, right?
Yes.
So we really show them how the energy works and go through what's blocking them in the assessment. Then we do the divine gifts. We teach the gifts. We show them their specific gifts. We give them their individual, unique gifts. We go through how to use them. Then in the next one, we go through life lessons. We show you specifically what your life lessons are, what's standing in your way. And then after that, we have the one on bringing heaven and earth together, because that's what's happening. How to do that, right? And then another class on abundance, because the natural outcome of living in your divinity is abundance. Being in your divinity it's not about working. It's about being. It's a state of being where you're delivering energy like I am right now in giving to you and wherever this broadcast is going to go, right? I'm here, I'm present, I'm in my divinity. You can actually feel it, right?
Yes.
And whatever comes of this comes of it. I'm just here to be of service.
Yes.
It just, in fact, we're almost at an hour, and it seems like it's been a couple minutes that we've been talking.
Yes.
So those are the three secrets, right? Understand the ground rules. Secondly, no defensiveness and stay detached, right? Now, if you focus on any one of these three, they're going to automatically lead you to the other one. So if you ignored the universal laws and your divine gifts and you just focused on detachment and defensiveness, right? Defenselessness, you're going to end up with your divine gifts, your true life purpose, and the universal. You have to. Truth only goes one way. Right? It's really cool. So then everybody can really just live their, everybody's right where they're, so you are right where you're supposed to be today. Wow. The world's perfect.
Yeah. I really get this message of acceptance, and everything is as it should be. And I love that. It's a very calming, peaceful vibration, energy.
Well, look at anything in your life that you've recently been upset about, okay? Like sometime today, right? Which is probably normal for most people. Or stressed out about, or feeling overwhelmed about, okay? If those three things are there, I will guarantee you it's associated to somebody else's agenda. And it's probably associated with either a fear of loss. Well, it would be fear of loss. The other one I was going to say is fear of failure, people seeing you, not meeting their expectations. Right? Is in there somewhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bill, you're rocking it, man. So I want one final call to action for people and how they can sign up for your course, how they can find out more about you, man.
Well, okay. My website is truelifepurposenow.com. And if you can go there and sign up. We're just finishing it up. We've been working on it. There's areas there that you can sign up for getting information from us. We're going to be launching in 2 weeks. I'm actually launching the next True Life Purpose Now class,
Sweet.
6 weeks class. And let me tell you, okay, this work is priceless. Everybody says the same thing. They just go, it's priceless. Like, it's so powerful what it gives to you. So it's truelifepurposenow.com, or my email is thedivinepurposeguy@gmail.
Perfect.
The Divine Purpose Guy at Gmail. Hey, I've really enjoyed this. In fact, when I saw your text, it's like, gosh, why haven't we connected?
Yes.
So I'll make sure that we do connect here soon.
Absolutely.
But I've really appreciated this.
I love the level of thinking and conversation every time I'm with you, man. It's like the highest vibration, the highest frequency. Like more people need to.
Well, you go there that's where you go when you understand this.
Yes.
It's like, oh,
yes,
I can hang out at like that shitty vibration, right? Or I can just go up here.
Yes. Yes.
That's the highest
Yes.
You can only go to the highest
Yep.
So as you make that choice, then you learn about the higher.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you for bringing this
All right,
level
Chris.
of high conversation here. Bill, you're a superstar, man. Keep up the great work. Thank you for channeling your gifts into us, into our audience, and I hope you have the best day ever, man. We'll talk soon.
Oh, it's going divine.
Yes.
You have a great one.
All right. Take
All
care,
right.
man.
Thanks. Bye-bye.